These lights have been causing me absolute mayhem. Right guys, come with me. We'll go over to the CNC machine and I'll show you what's what on here. So we're doing an order for Gaze Burville, and basically what we're doing is 316 stainless steel double-headed lights. So you can see there's really, really cool details on this with the engraving on the top there. This is the actual rod that's going to go in. So this is going to sit in the worktop. It's going to sit like that, and then basically there's going to be a ring sitting on top here and a nut on the bottom. Then we've got our two heads, so the heads will actually come out like this. We're missing some parts here. The thing is, we've had some real challenges. 316 stainless steel is really difficult to work with. And essentially, there's one of our end mills. It's kind of just lost the edges. The lapping's gone completely, and it's started to pull out of the holder. So we're getting parts like this and like this, which you can really see is really not the right part at all. We're starting to now get on track though, so this is now the first part that's come out and it's nearly there. There's a little bit of damage just here. I say 316 is just, it's a bit of a nightmare for us. If we're running aluminium, it's super easy, but 316 just eats tools, eats all the material, etc. So it is a real pain. So we've got two inserts to make. I've designed them, but I've got to program them up yet. We've got the two hinges to do, and we've got the collar and the nut to do, so that should be interesting. Right, so when we're making these parts, we actually have to hand finish these. So that's how the rod actually came out when it arrived from us from the supplier, and then we actually machined each end, but we can't machine this entire length. So we have to now hand finish it. So this other one in my hand is one that Liam hand finished. So you can see how beautiful that actually is. And he did that with, I think it was 60 grit and 1200 grit sandpaper and then some Scotch-Brite. Basically fed that into the chuck, run that really slowly and just did it by hand. And he just did such a fantastic job of it. And it really blends well into the two pieces. So I think the customer's going to be really, really pleased with how that actually comes out. So at the moment I'm preparing the lights for the Gaze Burville order for the lights that are going to go onto the kitchen. So these all need to be hand finished now. So the 316 stainless that comes off the lathe, we end up with like these little burrs because we're working on one single spindle. The part just drops as it's cutting through rather than having to hold it this side and getting a nice clean finish on the other side. So I have to actually break these off and sand everything down. And I also have to remove, so on this part, there's like this little line that comes through where basically there was a transfer and the part finished up to here. And then when it's transferred to the other spindle, it finished up this way. So I'm going to run it all on this hand sander first. And then we're going to hand buff down and kind of try and get it as close as we can via this. And then we'll finish it off with some Scotch-Brite. Essentially what we're doing is we're just taking off these lines so that we're making it perfect for what we need on site. It just takes a lot of work to get it there, and actually I really didn't anticipate how much work it would be to do stainless steel versions of these lights. So at the moment we're talking with Gaze Burville about potentially doing an aluminium version, which would be a lot easier for us and we can make it more cost effective for them. Because if we do these in future, we're going to have to charge more for this like hand sanding element of it. Nervous. I feel like I'm actually going to need to bring some spare LEDs. I've just had this like this feeling, this twitchy feeling in the back of my spine that says someone's going to blow something up and they're going to go, oh my god, we need the replacement lights, or of course it's just replacement parts, but they'll probably go, we need replacement lights or whatever. So we might need to be there with some spare LEDs just in case. So guys, tomorrow you're going to see us come to Chelsea and we're going to put that light in the Gaze Burville stand. You'll see how perfectly fit it is. Oh, no! Right guys, we're here on the Gaze Burville stand and we're going to take this light and put it in over on that kitchen worktop over there. So let's go get this in. I've got to take my boots off, get in my socks and walk across that paving. the moment we need to get to the hole at the back of this worktop, so we'll get the drawers out. So if you sort of like look here, you can actually see that there's no way, there's no cupboard door or anything that you can just get to actually get to the hole on the back, and our light has to go basically through that hole with our 2 wires and then connect to that under there. So that's kind of like the challenge at the minute. So we've got this gentleman here just helping us out, just getting out these drawers, and hopefully we'll be on our way very shortly. So we've got a lot to do and a lot of people to see. Thank you very much, sir. We're going to get this in. I noticed that that one is actually faced with the front wheels facing that way, so I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So I'm literally just going to plop these cables down the back through this hole. Make that sound like it's really easy, and then it's just like a, yeah, bit tricky, but there you go. And now I've got to climb under here. Oh man, seriously. Oh, this is reminding me of days back when I was an electrician. Oh, a challenge, I see. A challenge. Oh, I'm gonna need, this is gonna be a 2-man job. Anyone? Would you be my willing assistant? No, I'll do the inside the cupboard bit. So basically, there's a corner bracket in the way of me doing a nut up on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bracket off. I just need you just to lift this up. I can't lift it up because, but I can lift it up just a little bit. Yeah. And then I'll get the nut on above the bracket. Absolutely wonderful. And if you let it go down a little bit, it's going to take me ages to spin this nut. It's like the longest nut in the world. Okay. Oh, this is yeah. I'm not missing the days of missing my electrical days. I'll tell you that. Oh. Right. Now, I've got a cable in here that I can connect to. I need a good old 221 Wagos, and we just got to do a bit of series wiring. So. From black into the next red, and then our last 2 connections. Oh, I needed one. Our last 2 are just here, which hopefully isn't mains because it will go bang. And that is our light basically in. So yeah, the only thing is the whole thing needs to be done a little bit tighter, and these need to be just adjusted just slightly because they will kind of want to point them a little bit in the directions we want to point them. So I think this one probably wants to go about there. Yeah. And then this one maybe just here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just undo these 2. So I think in my bag of magic tricks I've got oh, I do have grips. I didn't forget them. Yes, yes, I didn't forget them. So, although it is so painful to get. Just bringing them just a little bit forward, just so we're getting a little bit more light going out that way. Now, I don't know whether or not we should change the optic, because me and Charlie were talking about changing the optic. I basically brought with me these. Now, yes, they aren't exactly perfectly hand finished because they're just literally just, you know, it was a massive rush this morning to get them here. But what they do is they help direct the light. So they'll lower the light output slightly, but they'll basically help direct it and make sure that we get less glare coming out of the fittings. And I think that was a concern for Charlie and for Gaze Burville. So I think that's what we want to put in, but I need to ask the question. We are done. We are done, guys. I'm so excited that we're done. Do you know how much these lights? I've almost cried over these lights. I have bled. I've definitely bled. That's for sure. But I've been on the borderline of crying. But I'm glad to see them in. It actually looked really nice. They look really nice against the worktop, etc. And they look beautiful against the logo here that they've burnt in.